Hiya, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. For those of you who are new around here, then my name is Sofie and I upload all content related to health, fitness, lifestyle and well-being. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, then definitely be sure to click on the little red subscribe button down below, as that would mean so much to me if you could do that. As for today's video, I thought I would share with you 5 things that you should bear in mind when going vegan. Just in case you don't know, I do follow a plant-based diet myself. And especially, well, now it's been a couple of months since the Veganuary season of this year, so a lot of people tend to try out eating vegan for a month, and then a lot of people from that will continue to stick to it. And just in general, more and more people are turning towards a vegan or plant-based diet as well. So I just thought it'd be sort of interesting to share some of my tips and advice if you are thinking of changing to a vegan or plant-based diet yourself, or you already are but just may not have thought about these things. Some of them may be so obvious that you just don't even think about it, so hopefully it will bring your awareness to some of the things that you might need to pay attention to. So the first thing is protein. One of the big questions that people get asked when talking about a vegan diet or a plant-based diet is, where do you get your protein from? And I don't think the main issue behind this question is that there's not plant-based sources of protein, because there are, and you can get all your essential amino acids that you need through a vegan or plant-based way of eating. But it's more just because if you've come from sort of a more traditional meat kind of based background and style of eating, then obviously that's the primary source of protein. So then when people think of plants or vegan, they think, where is that protein coming from if you're just eating loads of fruit and veg? So I think it's definitely important before you transition to think about some of the key sources of protein that you can get on a vegan diet, such as things like lentils, beans, chickpeas. Tofu is a great one which contains all your essential amino acids. And there's just a whole variety of different ones within that. So you've got so many different kinds of beans, you've got so many different types of lentils. So really just going for all your different types of pulses and nuts, seeds, those kind of things as well. And just ensuring that with each meal you incorporate something of that type in order to boost your protein content, because it can be easy when you remove the meat initially to not think about adding in those other extras, and then you're lacking that main macronutrient from your plate. So definitely consider what protein sources you can add to each of your meals, or how you can swap out the current meat in there for an alternative plant-based source. Another thing which I think majority of people are now aware of, but just in case you're not, you will have to supplement with a B12 vitamin tablet or spray, whatever form you can get it in, because only animal sources will contain B12. Naturally it's made in the soil, but because of the way that we wash our fruit and veg so thoroughly these days, and we remove any sort of traces of the soil or any of the nutrients from the soil itself, from the fruit and veg that we consume, all of that B12 is removed. However, as for example when you're eating meat like beef, animals will eat from the soil and they obtain that B12 that way, and then you just indirectly gain it from them. So in terms of plant-based sources, they don't contain B12 naturally, so you'll probably have to supplement your diet with some kind of B12 supplement, or also look out for fortified products. So a lot of plant-based milks are now fortified with it. Things like nutritional yeast, or nooch as you may want to call it as well, is often fortified with B12 as well. So be on the lookout for that, but ensure that you're getting enough to meet your daily requirements as well. Also, another thing is, a lot of people think going vegan or plant-based is more expensive, but that's just more if you first transition and you're sort of buying the pre-prepped, more kind of processed style vegan products available out there. Whereas if you focus on buying in-seasonal fruit and veg, as well as stocking up on things like tins of beans and chickpeas and all your pulses that way, as well as even just other veg as well in tins and your tinned fruit as well, or frozen fruit and veg too, can definitely help to decrease the price. And also stocking up on sort of like your whole grains, so loads of rice, pasta, you can buy that in bulk, that all still remains the same as it was. So it definitely can remain around the same in terms of your spending, and also even be that little bit cheaper. It's just more if you go for those pre-prepped processed foods, like I was saying before, where the price can add up. If you're going more for like your plant-based burgers and that kind of thing, then sometimes they are marketed as more expensive than your meat products. However, if you buy your own beans and your own sort of natural ingredients, you can make your own quite easily, and it will definitely be quite a bit of a fraction of the price. Also, when it comes to eating out and going to restaurants, you may start to think that some of your usual go-tos are no longer an option. However, it's definitely worth just either calling up the restaurant before you go, or if you're walking past that area anyway, then just call in and ask if there's any way they could adapt some of their meals, or if they would be able to provide a vegan option. Because a lot of the time people people are happy to cater for you as well, and especially if you phoned in advance and they know you're going, then they'll be happy to make something for you there and then. But if not, even if they just have loads of veggie options, it's worth looking at what those are and just seeing if there's little changes you can make, like asking for it without the cheese or asking for it without the cream, or whatever that kind of dairy product that's often the main division between veggie and vegan in there might be. Then just see if they can make some kind of modified version of it, and that way it will open you up to so many more options available in restaurants as well, and you'll be able to still go to a lot of your current favourite restaurants too. And then my final 5th tip and thing to look out for is your portion sizes. If you do stick to a more sort of plant-based whole foods kind of diet full of loads of fresh fruit and veg, then it's likely that you might need to increase your portion sizes, as often things like meat are higher in sort of like your saturated fats and more calorie dense, and therefore when you transition to sort of more beans and chickpeas to replace that meat, then they'll be lower in calories and fat and things like that. So you may have to increase the amount that you're eating in order to still reach your sort of optimum calorie level. However, that said, if you are going for more of the sort of processed or direct kind of meat replacers and meat alternative products out there, these aren't always significantly lower in calories, and so that way you may still just be consuming the same kind of amount, but just become more aware of the types of foods you're consuming, and if they are significantly lower in calories and in the more sort of energy dense macronutrients like your fats, then your usual meat go-to, then just make sure that you're adding in that little bit extra just to get back up to where you need to be in order to maintain a healthy weight. So those are my 5 things that you need to look out for when transitioning to a vegan diet. I hope you have found this video useful. Let me know down below in the comments if you do currently yourself follow a vegan or plant-based diet, or if you're thinking about trying to eat a bit more that way as well. I'd love to know down below in the comments. Also be sure to smash a big thumbs up on this video if you have enjoyed it, as well as click on that little red subscribe button down below, as that would be amazing if you could do that. And don't forget there is also that notifications bell too that you can tap on so that you're notified whenever I upload, and I'll be sure to see you very soon with a brand new video. Bye!